Hey there. I wanted to share another layer on this whole distinction or interaction or relationship between grace, forgiveness, and accountability, and how they're not totally aligned. They're not exactly the same thing. And I would suggest that, like, the exploration of this is so powerful. There's so much gold in it. There's actually miracles for your relationship in it. The first is this idea of grace. And the best way I can describe grace in relationship to when two people, when you're feeling like you're just so angry with each other, that you're feeling the old pain and the past pain and the past infractions, and everything's coming up. You're just out of control of your nervous system and your emotions, and you're just angry with each other. Grace is the sort of forbearance or restraint of pushing into the wound of the past. The grace is the willingness to just not do that in that moment. Not because you don't want to, but because you know it just won't get you the cheese. It won't get you what you really want. It might think like it'll feel good, but the past will tell you that it really won't feel good. Even if it feels good for a second to get that dig in, to press into that wound, to pour salt into it, it will only feel good for a second, and it will always, always, always feel worse after you do it. That's grace. Then there's forgiveness, which is, in my opinion, much farther down the path. Grace is the first step, but forgiveness is really the willingness to put it down and let it go, right? That's forgiveness. That takes a process. That takes patience. That may take a lot of time. That may take a lot of work to go through the feelings and the emotions and the necessary processes to be able to say, you know what? This holding on to this isn't doing me any good. In fact, it's doing me harm, and it's certainly not doing the other person any good. In fact, it's probably doing them harm, or it may not have any effect on them whatsoever, and it only is doing me harm. And therefore, forgiveness is called for. And that's a process. Then there's accountability / responsibility. I feel like those are two sides of the same coin. Grace and forgiveness are not hall passes. It's not a relinquishment or a freedom from responsibility or accountability. Grace is simply, I'm not going to press into this wound. It's not that there isn't an accountability conversation to be had. It's not that I don't need you to take responsibility for this. It's not that. It's, while I need you to take responsibility for this, and while I feel some sense of like I'm worthy of some accountability here, I'm not going to press into it right this moment. I'm not going to make it worse by stirring it up right this moment. And so it's important to remember these things, in my opinion and experience, because there's something magical that happens when you realize that holding on to those resentments, insisting on accountability in a particular moment, holding on to and not letting go in a particular moment. There's something magical that happens when you realize that doing those things is you not at all in control of your faculties. It's you not at all present in the moment. It's mostly you, if not entirely you, in the past. In the past, in resentment, holding a grudge, etc., or in the future with anxiety or projection or expectation. Either way, you're not in the present moment. And when you realize that by being outside of control of your emotions, you're not present to deal with it, that is a miracle. That perspective is miraculous. Not because it suddenly heals everything, but because it affords you the opportunity to say, oh, wait a second. As long as I'm acting either in the past in resentment or in the future with anxiety, I'm not present. And if I'm not present, it's not actually me engaged in this conversation. And so the invitation is to, this is the invitation to have so much grace for yourself. It means you don't beat yourself up for having the lack of control. You don't say, oh, it's like if you're upset with yourself for having allowed someone to hurt you, you're feeling the pain of the hurt and you're feeling the pain of the upset towards yourself. It's a double whammy and it's not really good for you. So if you can be aware in the present moment that you're not actually present, that is such a gift. And when you recognize that that is the miracle, that is the miracle moment, that you can choose to be aware of the miracle and give yourself grace, give the other person grace. Don't press into the wound. Don't press into the pain. Actually give yourself a minute to allow that energy to flow through you and dissipate, which it always will. Remember, those experiences are, in the moment, simply neurotransmitters occupying receptor sites for that particular emotion. And in 90 seconds of clarity, or 90 seconds of peace, 90 seconds of grace, those neurotransmitters will leave those receptor sites and you will be back to neutral. You'll be back to the present moment. You'll be back to your default, which over time will become love and compassion and forgiveness and joy and gratitude and connection, etc. It's a long video. Let that sink in. See if you can play with this idea of grace, peace in the interval.